Every single year around the world, millions of people turn to tech companies, disguised as education companies, to learn English. But are they really effective? Today, I'm going to talk about one company in particular that I've been working to get inside for the better half of 2 years. It's one of the biggest companies on the market, known as Preply. Preply is currently a privately held company headquartered in Boston, Massachusetts. But that's not where they began. They began in Ukraine. Two brothers and a small group of people that decided they were going to help people learn English. The kicker? While padding their pocketbook. That's a good thing. That's capitalism. That's making the most of an opportunity. But when does it become a problem? I went on the inside of this company from a tutor's perspective, and here's what I found. Now, as a journalist, and having been a journalist for the better half of 20 years, I've always learned to take things with an open mind and take things with face value. And I did the same thing with Preply. So it was shortly after the pandemic that I decided to start doing a different thing. I was getting tired of have suitcase will travel and decided to do something else. So I went to work on a platform known as Preply. Preply did me pretty well for quite a while. I played their game. I did their 30%, 25%, and then ultimately 18% commissions until I had accumulated over 20,000 hours in less than a year tutoring on the platform. And all in all, wasn't a bad thing. Preply was good for me, but it's when I started hearing the feedback from students and other tutors and experiencing problems that the radar went up. You see, the English learning space is a complicated space. It's kind of like the Wild West. Anybody with a little bit of knowledge and some know-how can go out there and charge students from around the world money, ranging anywhere between a few dollars to upwards to $120, $150, $180, $200 an hour sometimes. There's a lot of money to be made in the English learning space because English is the lingua franca of the world. But with that kind of money on the line, a lot of characters and a lot of actors are going to show up. Preply seems to be one of those companies. Now, Preply seems to be getting ready to go public. They haven't made any notification of that. I haven't seen any confirmation from that from the company, but I have gotten emails from people interested in buying shares that I might own of Preply. I don't own any shares in Preply. I wouldn't. I think it's a failing ship. But here's the thing. What I think this is, it's an exit strategy for these two brothers from Ukraine who built this company. Now they're trying to get out of it, okay? Or maybe lower their responsibility with it. Maybe get some of the heat off of their back. They seem to be turning to Wall Street to do that. But that's not necessarily the problem. The problem is what Preply does to their students and what Preply does to their tutors. You see, in order to be a super tutor on Preply, Preply says that you have to get 60% of your trial lessons to subscribe. That's kind of crazy if you think about it. Now, on average, I would do 6 to 7 trial lessons per week. And these are trial lessons, mind you, that students pay for, but tutors get zilch for. They don't get anything. Partly because Preply reserves the right to allow the student to find a new tutor if it doesn't work out for them with one specific tutor. Now, that being said, it's probably more along the lines of Preply being able to keep more of the money. And that's how big business works. That's how this situation works. I reached out to Preply numerous times throughout the course of the investigation. Preply wouldn't speak. They would not talk. They refused to come on camera and have a one-on-one conversation about how this company operates. I also asked them what it was with their requirements as far as cancellations and things like this. Again, they would not respond. Now, I want to talk about this more from the tutor's perspective. So as a tutor, if you go into one of the help sections or one of the tutor cafes or whatever it is they call them, you see a lot of these plants. And these are people that are very, very loyal to Carol and his brother, the owners of the company. And what they are is they're plants. They're people there where if you say something negative, their response is always something like, oh, don't worry, I've been here for 5 years or 8 years and I've had this happen before. It's no big deal. These things happen on a regular basis. It's fine. Usually their customer support is great. These are plants. These are people that speak at their tutor conferences that are extreme loyalists and have shown absolute devotion to the Preply plan. But for the average tutor or the average student, this thing could be a disaster. One of the things that's happening here is that tutors who are doing the most work, who are doing the very, very best for their students, are leaving the platform and they're taking their students with them. Even though there's a clause in your user agreement that says that you're not supposed to do this. Well, here's the thing. If you're getting treated like crap by the company, what are you and the student supposed to do? Just be beholden to them so they can get richer? You see, I am convinced that this is just nothing more than a scheme. Little more than a scheme to get two people very rich. And if they're headed to Wall Street investors should probably hold on to their pocketbooks. And fund managers should be very skeptical about anything to do with these people. Now, again, I don't have anything to bring because Preply won't speak. Preply will not, these two brothers and their henchmen will not be interviewed by the press. They will not do it. I've asked them, other members of the press have asked them. I've had people from major media around the world try to corner these people into speaking about these allegations. They will not do it. At this point, have your attorney reach out to me, because at this point, I think it's only fair that the truth be told and we have a debate about what's really going on at Preply. Now, with that being said, Preply still has cost me a lot of money over the years by missed lessons, by reducing my rank after being ranked so very high, because I've spoken out against Preply. So if they want to talk about damages, I can prove them too. That road goes two ways. So at this point, there hasn't been a lawsuit. They haven't filed one against me. I haven't filed one against them. I'm happy to do that route if that's what they'd like. You wouldn't be the first big company I've taken down. You probably won't be the last. But again, this is my opinion and my experience. Okay, I'm just laying out for you the facts about what it takes to be a super tutor and how really, if you're a student, this is just all geared to getting you to pay into this kitty every single month. Deceptive billing practices. They wouldn't be the first company to be investigated and taken down for it. Anyway, I'm Matt. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. Thousands of you are turning to this channel every single day for the content that I put out there. I couldn't be more grateful. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you want to try to be part of the movement to get these brothers to speak publicly about these allegations against one of the biggest language learning platforms in the world, join the conversation. Because you know what? They're not the only ones out there that are doing it. There's something to be said about doing business ethically. Guys, do you know what ethics are? I don't think you've ever even heard the word. Maybe you should go back to English school. I'm Matt Pierce. Thanks for joining me.